Welcome to another episode of Bassin with Captain Lou. Guys, good morning. Happy New Year. I know it's another change of scenery, but I jump around and this is very specific and there's a reason why I'm here. And the reason for it is because I'm going to be doing a bank fishing series in 2022. I didn't start off bass fishing or fishing in general, fishing out of boats. My parents aren't fishermen. My dad wasn't a fisherman. My mom just needed to get me out of the house when I was a kid and took me bank fishing or canal fishing. And I was hooked ever since at the age of 10. I'm self-taught, and because I live in South Florida and there's plenty of canals and bank fishing opportunities here, the urban bank fishing environment was my classroom, and I spent years and years, and still do to this day, bank fish. So I wanted to pay it forward and provide you guys with some insights and some tips and tricks that I've learned over my 30+ years of bank fishing for you guys who are just getting started bass fishing, or for you guys that are out of town and visiting South Florida and want to learn how to bank fish our waters. Well, this video is for you. So before I dive in and show you guys the ABCs of bank fishing here in South Florida, we are surrounded by miles and miles of canal systems. Canal systems offer you a variety of opportunities for you to fish in. All of our stuff is man-made. Our canals are man-made. Any lakes that you see here are basically a lot of community type of lakes, and those were man-made for fill for the roadways and for the communities that have been built here. Each of the locations that I mentioned are fished a little differently, but in regards to today's video, I'm just going to show you guys again the ABCs and basics that regardless of where you're fishing, if it's a community lake, if it's a park, if it's a canal, I mean, any type of water system here in South Florida, what I'm about to show you guys and cover with you guys could take with you and even take home and still become effective bank fishing anglers with just a little bit of information I'm going to cover with you guys. First up is gear, guys. I use a bait casting outfit. I just use one outfit. I don't carry multiple rods with me. It's extremely rare that I carry multiple rods with me. I like having multi-purpose rod. And what do I mean by multi-purpose? Meaning it's a rod that can cover multiple types of techniques comfortably, and I'm not at a disadvantage. So when you're thinking about bank fishing, you want to think about multi-use. So I would think about a 4-power rod, maybe a 3, anywhere between a 3 to a 5-power rod. I just love the 4-power rod. Now, moving along, and let's talk about the reels. I like a bait casting reel. Again, it allows me to utilize different techniques effectively. As far as the ratio or speed ratio, I like using a 7-speed. I like 7-speed for a lot of applications. And as far as the fishing line, in this case, I like utilizing Braid. Braid is another multi-use line for me. It's very sensitive, it's very tough, it lasts forever. But what I do is I try to get the best of both worlds with 2 types of fishing lines. So what do I mean by that? Meaning I will utilize Braid as my main line, but if you guys see here in a lot of my videos and a lot of different applications, I utilize what we call a leader. And in this case, I'm using a 15-pound leader. This is a fluorocarbon leader. And with this type of combination, I'm able to, like I said, have the best of both worlds, meaning I have the pluses or the benefits of utilizing both different types of lines, which is the benefits of utilizing a fluorocarbon line and the benefit of using a braid line. Now, if you're first starting off bank fishing or visiting South Florida and you don't know how to use a bait caster, that is perfectly fine. That's just my personal preference. A spinning rod a spinning reel, like a 2500 size or a 2500 to a 3000 size spinning reel, that will serve you just fine as well. All right, moving up in a different category, and that is the type of terminal tackle I use. Guys, when I tell you guys that I pack light. I mean, this is what I carry. This is all I carry. So first up is the bobber stoppers or the weight stoppers, okay? And these are these little rubber stoppers that you attach to your line, and what it does is it holds down the weight close to your hook, like this right here. If you guys could see that right here for a better idea, that's the purpose of a bobber stop, the bobber stop. And the reason for it is because here in our canals or here in our lakes and stuff like that, we have a lot of vegetation, and sometimes the weight gets snagged and it throws off the presentation a little bit. Some people choose not to do that, and that's great. It offers a different view of the bait. I personally like the weight attached close to my soft plastic, and that's why I use a bobber stopper. The next thing are the weights. I don't carry a bunch of them. As you guys will see here, I carry a very small assortment of weights. I carry anywhere between a 1/32, which is a very small little weight, to a 1/32, which is another small weight, okay? And the biggest, believe it or not, that I go to is an 1/8, right here. So the difference between the 1/8 and the 1/32 or the 1/16 is right here. So again, I carry very, very light. So again, a 1/32, a 1/16, or an 1/8. That's it, in my opinion. Now, if it's very, very, very windy and you're fishing some deep water, then the most I would go to from that case would be a 1/4, which is a little bit slightly bigger than this weight right here. Again, that's my personal preference. I don't like to use a lot of heavy weight because I feel it takes away from the movement, or it takes away from the natural appearance of the bait that I'm throwing. So I try to go the lightest as possible. If the situation calls for it and you don't need any weight, then don't use weight. It's gonna cause you to fish a lot slower. However, it's gonna make your bait presentation a lot more natural. So keep these little things in mind when it comes to weight selection. All right, last on the list is hooks. This is open for discussion. I personally like extra wide gap hooks. Extra wide gap hooks are these type of hooks here, which they're famous for the wide gap. Okay, they're very extra wide gap, and they're offset. Okay, the other hook that's very popular is the standard J hook, or your offset hook, which basically I don't have one on me, which is just picture a J, and that's your common J hook. I've experimented with both over the years, and I find myself I'm a lot more effective using an extra wide gap hook. That's just my preference. You guys get to use what you guys see fit. But when in regards to hook, the type of, or bank fishing rather, the type of gauge or thickness of hook is one of the factors that a lot of guys oversee, and that's what I'm about to cover. Because for example, these two hooks look very familiar, or look very similar right here. Let me bring you to the camera. Okay, but one is thicker than the other. This is a thick gauge hook. This is a thin line hook. These two hooks are vastly different from each other, and here's why. Thick gauge hook, just like this one here, thick. Why? You utilize this when you're fishing heavy cover. It's a heavier gauge. It's a lot harder to bend. So when you're fighting fish out of heavy cover, you want to have that extra backbone in your hook to do that. This requires a little bit more effort to get through the plastic, depending on how it's rigged, to get into the fish. You need stouter gear and a heftier hook set to drive this thicker hook into the bass's mouth. However, its counterpart, the thinner gauge extra wide gap hook, this right here, guys, are hypodermic needles, meaning the gauge of the wire is a little bit less, but it serves us well down here for bank fishing, or for fishing in general when you're fishing open type of water or sparse type of cover, because you don't run the risk of it getting jammed up and then a big fish opening these hooks and you losing the fish. All right, now we're going to be jumping into the fun stuff, and that is the types of baits. First, start off with the simplest of baits that someone could be using right now at this stage, or if you're traveling and it's easy to pack and it's not dangerous to carry, and that's soft plastics. I like utilizing a series of soft plastics. They're cousins, really. One of them being, I love these things, and these are like Centipedes or French fries. And what these are basically is a very small 4-inch slender worm, and it looks just like it looks like a French fry, literally. 4 inches, very small, compact. It's more for your finesse type of applications, and what I mean by finesse is meaning a very simple, very subtle approach to fishing, and I'll go into that later on. The next bait, and there's no surprise here, it's one of the most popular soft plastics anybody could use, and if you guys saw my latest video, it's the one that got me out of a jam out in the Everglades recently, but it's the stickworm. I mean, this guy comes in all shapes. It comes in all sizes, really. So like if you guys can see in my assortment, I bring along with me 2 different sizes. Here are the 2 sizes that I use. I use an assortment of natural to darker colors, and I'll go into that in a later video. But the stick bait, I mean, you can't go wrong with this bait. It's very simple to use. It's a must in your arsenal. And the last 2 baits that I'm gonna cover with you guys are my moving soft plastics. And what do I mean by that? Meaning these are soft plastics that are designed to be moved and offer some sort of action in displacing the water or moving in the water. And the first one I'm gonna cover, and again, if you guys have seen my one of my videos in regards to this, and I'll leave the little link up above, but another one that needs to be in your bag is the U-Vibe. I mean, this bait right here has caught me so many fish, so many nice bass actually, and the reason for it is because, and it's called a speed worm, is because of this sickle tail right here. This tail right here, this guy right here, when you start moving this lure or this bait across the water, it starts displacing a lot of water, and it makes a lot of noise, and you can fish it in various different ways. You can fish it up top, or you can just kill it and fish it as its brethren, like the soft plastic, just right along the bottom. So again, it's an effective bait to have with you, and again, you will not be sorry if you carry a speed worm. Last and definitely not least is the Fluke. This guy right here imitates bait fish, imitates a variety of bait fish, and again, it's in a very effective soft plastic. You can fish it up top, you can fish it down below, you can fish it in the bottom. And what this guy does is, like I mentioned, is imitate the bait fish. I will show you guys in a later video on how to fish it. All right, gang, next up is accessories. There's a lot of them. And these are important things that I carry on my person at all times when I'm bank fishing, and it's one that you guys should keep in mind. Again, I carry light, but just because I carry light doesn't mean I don't carry these important accessories with me. Guys, carry yourselves a pair of pliers. Okay, these things right here are worth their weight in gold. I mean, I can't even tell you how much this costs. It wasn't an expensive pair of pliers. These are a very old pair of pliers for me. But I mean, again, they've got me out of so many jams. And why a pliers? Well, first of all, I mean, a lot of you guys have very strong teeth, and God bless you guys for your strong teeth, and you cut your fishing line with your teeth. But I utilize my pliers right here to snip fishing line. If I need to do a hook change or change a split ring, or for whatever reason, this particular plier has a split ring nose to them. Again, so versatile, especially if you're fishing with treble hooks and you got a fish that's not cooperating and you need to maneuver that hook out of the fish's mouth. I'd rather do it with a pair of pliers than my fingers. Safety first, guys. Next up, and if you guys watch my videos, you guys will always see me wearing this right off my right hip, and that's a rag. It's a small rag, it's not a big rag, but man, rags are helpful in many ways. You could get the fish slime off you. You don't have to transfer that stuff onto your clothes, and you could do that. I mean, hey, if you're fishing with hooks or fishing in general, you're gonna get bloody, unfortunately. You're gonna get poked. So I use this to, to hold down, put pressure on my wound. It doesn't hurt to carry one on your person or in your fanny pack or in your book bag, but just carry a rag. It's gonna be, you'll find it's going to be very helpful. Here's another important one, and it's classic when you guys watch fishing videos, and that is when guys don't carry with them their scales. Scales don't need to be expensive. I mean, I got this scale off of Amazon. It's called a Real Sonar. I think this one was less than $12. This is my second one. The other one I beat slap up, and it lasted for many years, but and I needed a replacement, so I got another one. Very effective. You'll see me here with I call this another accessory that you guys should carry, but I utilize it with my scale, and that's a good pair of fish grips. You just open this up and then clamp it around the fish's mouth, and then I bore a hole in this one right here, so I can go ahead and then and weigh my fish, and not put this hook by the gills and risk hurting the fish. But I'm going to come back to this in a second. Here in South Florida, we have we've got toothy fish here as well. And if you're caught without one of these, or without a rag, okay, so you could grab fish, or without a pair of pliers, that means now you have to handle a fish that with teeth. And we have a few species of fish that have teeth, and you don't want to be tangling with them. Mudfish, a lot of teeth, very sharp teeth. You have gar, a lot of teeth. You got jaguar, which is an exotic, they got teeth. So if you have yourself this little one that comes in this size and they come with a bigger size, this right here can help avoid you getting bitten or hurt by toothy critters. All right, gang, last order of business as far as accessories, and then we're gonna go fishing. And that is the importance of carrying your cell phone or your mobile phone. Guys, this right here is the most important tool. Why? Because obviously it serves as a camera. I mean, we all know that. And the most important thing is to get you guys out of a bind. It's in case of an emergency. You need a cell phone in order to get you out of that bind, okay? So make sure it's fully charged and carry it with you at all times, because you never know when you're gonna need this thing. And as far as the camera goes, it is the best thing to be carrying with you, because if you catch a nice fish, all you gotta do is reach into your pocket and there you have a camera. Again, cell phones, carry them with you at all times. So hopefully I was able to cover a lot of the ABCs in regards to bank fishing and provide you guys with a lot of information. I know I said the video was going to be short and I dumped on you guys a lot of information, but again, I also did mention that you guys can watch this video as many times as you want and take those notes. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share the video, better yet, subscribe. If you're a bank fisherman and really enjoy the South Florida experience and what our fishing has to offer here, aeguideservice.com, guys. Go to my website. Come aboard. Tell me that you're a bank fisherman and you want to experience the benefits of or experience a bass boat and experience fishing off a bass boat. Guys, give me a call. I love that. I would love to teach you guys and provide you guys with the experience of fishing in a bass boat and fishing in the Everglades or fishing in Lake Okeechobee or any of those type of areas that South Florida has to offer. So guys, aeguideservice.com. Don't hesitate. Give me a call. Send me an email. Let's make it happen. And again, I wish you guys a happy 2022. And I'm looking forward to making a lot more of these videos for you guys. Take care of yourself.